We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet.
Brian Tripp, who was outstanding at everything he does, hockey, baseball, sideline reporter for us for football, had a chance to sit down with the new defensive coordinator of the Nittany Lions put out by Penn State football, Jim Knowles.
And welcome inside the Lash Football Building. Brian Tripp joined by new Penn State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. Coach, congratulations and welcome home to Pennsylvania and welcome to Penn State.
Oh, it's great to be here. You know, I've been a Penn State fan my whole life growing up, so it's kind of surreal for me to now actually be here and be part of it.
Yeah, let's start right there. What are your earliest memories growing up in Northeast Philadelphia? I know you talked to the team about that yesterday, but your earliest memories of Penn State football?
Yeah, I date myself, but when I was little, there were only like 3 stations on the television, and you actually had to get up to change the channel, but and you didn't get to watch much college football. And the one thing I did watch every Sunday morning was the Penn State highlight show, which was an hour long, and I looked forward to that. And you know, Penn State represented everything to me about college football at the highest level and doing it the right way.
When you look at what the program's accomplished and the history and tradition, but also how Coach Franklin has modernized the program and continued to build upon all of that success, what is it about Penn State where you feel like this is the right spot for the next stop of your coaching career?
You know, Penn State's always had a great tradition in terms of defense, you know, linebacker you and being very physical and tough and great production on defense. And you can tell from Coach Franklin and his era that hasn't changed. I mean, despite the fact that there have been different coordinators, the defense has remained highly successful and well respected. And then Coach Franklin has added, I think, the juice and the modernization and the development of NIL and all those things that we're dealing with now. That makes it a very attractive program from the sense of defense tradition, old school tradition, which I guess I'm an older guy now, combined with the flash and the prominence of the way the program is seen nationally.
We've obviously had the opportunity to watch you coach at other schools. What can you bring to add to that legacy and tradition? What does a Jim Knowles defense look like here at Penn State in your mind?
You know, it's going to be a defense that people can rely on, and I think that is the most important thing. That it's always been really good here, and we're going to be a defense that people can rely on to win games, and particularly in the situations, you know, where we're great in all those situations, red zone, goal line, 3rd, 4th down, when it comes time to really win those big games. And hopefully people will see enough diversity and adjustments, you know, as you get into those games where the opponents are very comparable. You need to have some other things in your bag that you can go to change it up.
What does it mean to have the honor and the responsibility now of leading that defense here at Penn State for all those reasons you just talked about?
Yeah, it's like I said, it is surreal. You know, you work your whole career to get to this point. Really, for me, you know, I'm a guy that worked my way up, so to be able to come back and do it at Penn State shows me that I've done a lot of things right. I've done enough things right to get the opportunity. But it's tremendous responsibility. You know, it's your home state. It's a program that is historically one of the best. And, you know, But there's still another step we can take. There's still another barrier for us to cross. And I hope that I can be part of that kind of, helps bring the program into that promised land.
Obviously, we're just a part of a national championship team. What does it take to get to that promised land to win a national championship?
Yeah, you have to be a strong brotherhood. Guys have to be accountable to each other, player to player, coach to player, player to coach. Coaches have to have the answers, and they have to be willing to admit when they make mistakes, because coaches do make mistakes too. You got to have the trust of the players that they'll go to the wall for you, that they'll do whatever you ask them to do because they believe that it works. So I feel like, having had success in the past for me, players look at you and say, okay, well, this guy, maybe he knows what he's doing. So you have a chance to gather their trust from the beginning. And then, it's that get better every day. I mean, you have to know that you are competing against the top opponents in the country on, January 29th and February 13th and April 4th. I mean, every day you are competing against the best in the country to improve, and a bunch of guys pushing each other and holding each other accountable.
I know to build that trust, you hit the ground running here at Penn State. What have the first 48 hours looked like for you as you get to know not only the roster and the skills and the talent, but also the type of players that you have in the meeting room every day?
Yeah, it's, a lot of it is like trying to drink out of a fire hose. I mean, it's a lot coming at you fast, and you're just trying to soak it all in. You're trying to get to meet as many people as you can, and then you also want to spend quality time. And that's difficult to do right now because you're trying just to gather as much information as you can. And that time will come when we can spend more quality time. But a lot of listening and learning from me and asking questions, because I'm the new guy here. And it's my job to get up to speed. It's not the player's job to react to me. It's really my job to get up to speed on their skills and strengths and, how I can feature them and how I can also help make them better.
It's not just your defensive staff, but the entire staff, starting with Coach Franklin and obviously with Andy Koltnicki and what they do on the offensive side. How do you see yourself fitting into this entire unit here at Penn State? And then that back and forth in the relationships where you can help your defensive staff, but also what you've noticed on the opposite side of the football.
Yeah, tremendous respect for Coach Franklin, what he does, how he runs a program. Andy, I've gone against him. He's really challenging with the way they stretch you on defense, and then look at the quality of the coaching staff. When you look at the defensive side of the ball, they've gone through different coordinators, yet they've still been very good. So you have to realize that's the position coaches that are doing it. So what I've seen here is everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to learn from each other. There are no egos involved, and everybody's just pulling in the same direction.
And before we look ahead, I want to revisit one other thing you said, and that's being back home here in Pennsylvania. Your ties to Philadelphia, being a St. Joe's prep guy. What's it mean to be back home, and how do you think those connections to the state can help you here at Penn State?
Well, I know. When I was at Ohio State, I had, some relatives and close friends who, no matter what, they weren't going to root against Penn State. And so it feels good to be on that side now, and the reception has been great. And there are a lot of people that love the university who have never gone here. From where I grew up, there are a lot of people who love the university and haven't even been able to visit here or go to a game. So I feel like now that I'm here, we'll be able to bring those people to be able to see it live and in person.
Have you had a chance to make a trip to the Creamery yet?
I have not. No Creamery yet. No, I haven't. I've just only been, I've seen a couple hours of the downtown, but that's about it.
Well, the blue and white looks good on you, Coach. Welcome to Penn State. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that is Jim Knowles with Brian Tripp.